Krystsina Tsimanouskaya's plane landed in Vienna on Wednesday afternoon, the first leg of her journey from Belarusian Olympic athlete to political exile. Earlier, the sprinter had left the Polish embassy in Tokyo, where she had sought sanctuary since resisting attempts by Belarusian officials to fly her home. The Polish government has granted Tsimanouskaya and her husband humanitarian visas. They're not the first Belarusians to receive them.
Every Belarusian citizen who is afraid for their future in Belarus should have the right to leave the country as soon as possible. That is why we have introduced the humanitarian visa. 10,000 Belarusians have already used it.
In Belarus, the crackdown on political opposition continues. Maria Kolesnikova is the last senior opposition figure left in the country. She refused to leave and is now paying the price, charged with undermining national security and creating an extremist group. She's already been in detention for 10 months. Leading opposition lawyer Maxim Zinak is also on trial. Kolesnikova, a former flautist in the National Orchestra, became one of the faces of popular protests against President Alexander Lukashenko following last year's contested election. In power since 1994, Lukashenko rejects all claims of voter fraud and has launched a violent suppression of any and all dissent. Large numbers of Belarusians have already fled abroad. They included Vitaly Shishov, who ended up in Ukraine. He was found hanging from a tree in Kiev on Tuesday morning. Fellow exiles gathered to mourn his death outside the Belarusian embassy, convinced he was murdered by the Belarusian regime.
Those who came here used to feel free because they managed to flee from the regime to avoid imprisonment and criminal persecution. But now we see that we can be killed here.
For Lukashenko, it's business as usual. Despite mounting international sanctions, he seems determined to extinguish all political opposition wherever in the world it occurs. Simon McGregor Wood, TRT World.